Okay, this is like a contentious thing. So just stick with me for a second because it's weird. It's weird that people are weird about it. Okay, so my friends are having kids, right? A lot of them are starting to have kids, so they're all having the conversation about like if they're gonna spank their kids, right? And people have very strong feelings either way. Some people think like, oh, you know, if it's rare and if it's warranted, then like a spanking here and there is not that bad. And then some people are like, no, this is full on abuse. This is like you're creating trauma and everything. And I'm not even telling anybody how to feel. Like I know that I was spanked when I was a kid, right? And it made sense that I was spanked because we were poor. Do you understand what I mean? Like, there was nothing to take away. You know? Like, there was a year that my mom and I shared a bedroom when I was a little kid. What was she gonna take away? The floor? She's like, rest of the month you float from now on. And if I catch you not floating, that's your ass, all right? Do you see what I mean? Because I was in a very weird position at one point because I didn't have much money, but I got a scholarship and my family pooled their money together to make the ends meet for me to go to this Catholic school, right? So I was a kid with no money going to school with kids with real money. Like money where they don't need to read. You know what I'm talking? You know that proper money that you can't mess up? You know that old money? And so, you know, I remember it was one time we were sitting around the lunch table and and this one kid, I said something about my mom, you know, like spanking me for something, and we were still in junior high or whatever. So I was talking about a time from before, you know, and then this other kid was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, Joe. You know, my dad still spanks me, right?" And I was like, "Ooh, Tyler, you have a pool. That's abuse." Do you see what I mean? Because Tyler, you live in the guest house. I've been over. You live in the guest. There's things to take away. My mama doesn't have an option. Like this is odd. Like that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's wrong. I'm sure it's steeped in generational trauma. Like I'm sure it is. I'm being sincere. I think that there's a thing where when you don't have means, right? When you don't have the extra time to think about the extra things, you don't think about the extra ways to like calm something. And I want to be clear, my mom had to spank me like a couple times in my entire life. So I'm not, over here like my mama did what she had to do. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that genuinely, I think sometimes you see these different thought patterns because there are people who have the means and they have the access to things like, like family therapy and stuff like that. And then there are other people that work 3 jobs as a single parent to make ends meet, so they have to get to it quick. And that's not even me saying it's like right or I always agree, because I think that it's hard to gauge. It's got to be very hard to gauge with like there's a thin line between a spanking and a beating. You know what I mean? Because if you spank good enough, you know what I mean? You gotta be real careful, because if you've ever been spanking a kid and anybody yells, "You got him," you already went too far. Like, But I don't know. I've thought about it a lot because, I got into an intense argument with my friend who was basically like, it's abuse every time, no matter what, no matter the circumstance, right? And then I was giving them a circumstance of like, look, maybe this kid isn't talking back. Maybe this kid was bullying another kid. Maybe this kid hit another kid, right? So then maybe their parent was like, you actually put your hands on someone, you hurt them. And so I'm going to do this thing now, not to like punish you because I'm going to enjoy it, but to show you like this is the way that you feel is the way that they felt. And I'm someone who loves you. So the world out there, they don't know you. So they may not love you. So this is a lesson that you might learn eventually from someone who doesn't care about you at all. And that's how I posed it to him. And he wasn't hearing it. And I get it. Because, everyone has their own experiences and stuff. But I feel like no matter your feelings on spanking, we've all met like a grown man that deserved to have their ass beat. And I think the thing for me is that could it have happened earlier? And I want to be clear here. I'm not like blanketing, co-signing anything. I'm asking questions genuinely. I'm asking questions because people are very split on it. You know what I mean? Like make some noise if you got spanked as a kid. Okay, so just roll with me here, right? So you got spanked as a kid. Now, make some noise if you spank your kid. But you see how some people are like, I got spanked and they really took their day out on me, so none of that for me. And then there are people that are like, I got spanked and I'm fine. And so I think I know how to gauge. So everybody has like vastly different approaches to it, But once again, we've all met a dude who like, damn. He really probably had it coming sooner than today. But then how do you gauge that, Because I get what some people are saying. Some people are like, look, this child is just trying to make their way, and they might not even respond to it the way. We're all individuals. So even though you have your kids and your kids have a part of you in them, they're still going to be different people. So then how do you make sure that this kid doesn't walk away with the worst lesson possible, the worst feeling possible from this thing that like worked out for you, but it might not work out for them? That's a scary thing, Like, I used to be like very nervous about moving to New York, right? I moved to New York years ago, and I remember when I got to Brooklyn, I saw a fight when I got there, and these were two kind of big guys. One guy was like medium sized, bigger than me, and he was muscular. And he looked like he knew how to fight because he did all the stances. He knew where to put his shoulders, put his fists, he could kick. He's either trained MMA and boxing or he's watched all the movies. Like this guy really knows how to move, right? And then the big guy was just a big guy. Like he was that, that type of big where you can't tell if it's fat or muscle? You just know it's in the way, right? You know that he can move things where he wants them to go. Just a big guy, right? And I don't know exactly what they were fighting about, but it felt like one of those fights. It felt like one of those fights where they really wanted to fight their dad. Have you ever been in a bar and then you see a fight like you can smell it brewing? And then you're also like, I think if you would like punched your dad years ago, none of this would be happening right now. Like if you just had one good row with him, this would be a quiet evening, right? and they were going at each other, and some of it was punching, some of it was kicking. Now the guy that was like on the bigger side and muscular, he really knew his way around. Like he was even like doing the hop of someone who knows how to fight. You know that little light foot hop where you're like they're about to get into it, okay? And then there was one moment because I walked out of this bar because I was doing a show, like a bar show with my friends, and then we were all walking out and we all saw this like happening. It would start on the sidewalk and it spilled into the street, and basically, he's doing the hops and then he goes for a lunge. He goes for like this big punch, right? And when he goes for the big punch, the big dude moves out of the way and grabs his wrist. And they both look at it. They both look at like he grabs his wrist and looks at it, and then he looks at it like, uh-oh. And then he grabs his wrist, and with his other hand, he grabs the back of the dude's belt, right? Pulls him forward, knocks the guy pretty much off balance, lets go of the wrist, passes the belt to his other hand, lifts him up, and then spanked him in public. And like, I had never seen somebody with a beard get spanked before. Like, and he's really like floating and everything. And this guy is like letting them have it, right? Like one after the other. This dude spanked him so much he took a break. There was one point where he was holding him suspended in the air by his belt, but also like... And then after like the 36th lick, lets go of the belt, dude drops to the ground. He gets up and he sort of limps off, a lot of expletives and stuff, but it's kind of done. And this guy goes back into the bar we were just in, because he wasn't watching the show. The show was in like a back room. This guy was just in the bar, and I had no idea like what the fight was about, because once again, we had already walked out and it was already happening. But he walked back in, and I'm like, I'm a curious duck. You know what I mean? Like, so I go back in after him and I'm like, hey man, are you okay? Which is a weird thing to ask him, but it's like, are you okay? What was all that about? And then he turns to me and goes, I look like a lot of dudes' dads. Wow, sir. That's an interesting thing to figure out about yourself. Because dude was like 30, but he just had that dad head. Like he had the dad bod of being big, but he had like a dad, like he had a full beard with like this part right here was doing a little bit of like Vegeta action. Like it was coming back a little bit, and he looked like he could be a dad, right? And so he's like, no, I just look like a lot of dudes' dads. And I was like, wow, how'd you find that out? And he was like, oh yeah, after the 4th or 5th fight, you start to put things together. And he told me that sometimes he goes to the bar with his friends, because his friends are with him and they don't help because they know he can handle himself. And so go to the bar with his friends, and he's like, after a while I can just tell some guy starts looking at me, and he's just giving me a look like you can tell he's a certain level of drunk, but he's looking at me like, huh. And then he comes and he starts jawing at me, and I can tell it's not about me because I was just sitting here. I wasn't doing anything. And then he wants to fight, and he either swings at me first or he says, let's go outside, but this happens pretty often. And I was like, wow, are you a dad though? And he was like, yeah. I was like, do you spank your kid? He was like, oh, no, I would never.
Hey, we are at Side Splitters in Tampa, Florida, and it's about 8:02, and I have forgotten the hoodie. This is probably what I'll be wearing. Did not think it through. So Manny was nice enough to go back to the hotel, but he may not make it in time because he is 8 minutes away. I am going up in 8 minutes. Logan's up right now. Oh no, this is my jacket from, I think I was 14 or something. This used to be way too big for me, and now it kind of fits. I mainly just wear this for the warmth. Wait, hold on 1 second. It looks like he's pulling up. 1 minute. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate you. Okay. Let's see.
Start clapping, make some noise. Let's hear it for Josh Johnson!
I love Christmas time. It's one of my favorite seasons because I love the gift giving. You know, because I'm not good at giving gifts. I'm not. Like, I put a lot of thought into the gift. I think about the person. I think about the gift. I think mostly about what I can afford. And then I get them the gift, and there's nothing more disappointing than their face when they open my gift. Like, it's like, because these are people I love that love me, so they fighting to look at least mildly enthused. Like, the battle they're having in their head to not ask me what I was thinking. You can see the wheels turning where they're like, I don't want to be rude, but now I'm genuinely curious. What was on his mind when he bought this? What would make him think I would like this, right? Like, I remember one time I bought my friend, I bought them like a really nice, and it was expensive. It was very nice, and it was polished, but it was like a polished figurine of an Easter egg. And then they opened it, and they were like, oh. Oh is never good, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if you propose and you hear, oh, it's about to be no. Like, it's very close. It's coming up. And so I gave them the gift, and they were like, oh. And then I felt like I needed to fill the space because they said, oh, and they didn't say anything else. But I was like, clearly I need to let them know why this is a brilliant gift. And so I was like, because you love Easter. And they were like, oh. And I hadn't been hit with 2 O's in a while. That second O let me know that maybe this is just bad. Maybe they weren't confused. Maybe they've decided they hate this gift. And so I was like, yeah, because you love Easter. That's your favorite holiday. I know it's Christmas, but it's still something to do with Easter now. Like, I got you something rather than waiting to give this to you on Easter. I got you a little bit of Easter in winter. And they were like, you could have got like a crucifix or something. And I was like, wow. That did not occur to me. I forgot you love Easter because you love the Lord. I just thought holiday egg. Let's make it happen. And so I don't always get the best gifts, which is, fair enough, which is why I love going to other people's Christmases. Like when I was in college, I would get invited to spend the holiday if I didn't go home to visit somebody else and spend Christmas with them or something. And it was nice because I got to watch other people be bad at giving gifts. And it's just nice to not feel alone, I went and had Christmas with my buddy one time, and family was all around exchanging gifts and stuff. And everybody was bad at giving gifts. It was a holiday miracle. Dad got the mom some gifts, and she opens it, and she lifts it and shakes it a little bit. Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy. Unwraps it, and he got her weights. And she was like, "Why'd you get me?" And in my head, I'm like, "Go ahead, answer. Please answer. Why'd you get her the weights? Why'd you get them, Stephen? What are the weights for?" Now you can see the flicker in his eyes where he was like, they were on sale. But it was fair enough because then he opened her gifts and she got him look, you think the weights are bad? This woman bought this man 50 Shades of Grey. If you don't know what 50 Shades of Grey is, it's a book, but but the things you think of when you read the book, the pictures it puts in your head are the fantasy. You go to places, And so the idea that she would get this man 50 Shades of Grey, I don't even know what the attack is. I don't even know if she's like, you need to read anything, read more, I don't care what it is, or if it's like, just do the book to me. Like, when is this man supposed to read 50 Shades of Grey at work? Is he just supposed to be in the break room hitting up that 50 Shades of Grey? This man drives a truck. You don't think anybody's gonna ask him? Hey, Stevie, what you reading? Oh no, it's just this book that my wife got me. This is a rich guy that's like getting involved with this young lady, and I can't tell. She's like, you should read more or do that to me, or I'm done with it. Like, she had also read 50 Shades of Grey, so I'm like, she just didn't get him anything. And then it was my buddy's turn, and I feel like it takes a long time for a child to be good at giving their parent a gift. The first few gifts you give your parents are from other adults. That's just it. It's just like, hey, this beautiful diamond bracelet is from you and me. We're going to give it to your mom together. And then you stand there all proud, like, yeah, the diamond bracelet is also from me. With all my 5-year-old disposable income. Do you love it? And then your mom, because your mom loves you, goes, oh, what a beautiful, oh my God. Hugs you all tight and everything, and you feel all proud. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to think of anything. Sometimes you get somebody, when you're little enough, you can get anybody anything and they at least pretend to love it. When you're like 5, you could draw them a picture. I did that. There was a Christmas where I drew a bunch of people pictures. I can't draw at all. I gave them less than nothing. I wasted their time. I genuinely wasted their time because I wrapped the picture that I drew, and so they had to open it like it was about to be something. And the worst part is that I was like, oh, let me not let it get crinkled up or anything. So I had it in like an envelope with the wrapping paper around it. They probably thought it was going to be a check, anything actually valuable. It was too much work. There was a little bow on it. They had to move the bow. They had to unwrap it. They had to not crinkle it. They had to open up this envelope just to get a picture of them that looked offensive. When I think back to how I drew, there's no way I drew a good-looking person. I drew as best as I could put my hand to the page, and it wasn't good. Everybody's head was out of proportion. But I was little, so they pretended to love it. They were like, oh. And I think some of them did love it. Some of them probably did love it because they loved me. And they were like, oh, this person that used to not even exist, that's so little, so cute, love them so much, they did their best. And that's very sweet, right? But then you get older. And then it's like even more obvious you didn't get the gift. You know? It's like, oh, you know, maybe your dad comes up to you, hey, these earrings, they're from me and from you, okay? Because you were with me when I bought them, and you helped me pick them. And then tells your mom, earrings are for us. Earrings are from you? Yeah, they're from me too. With all my 9-year-old disposable income. And I was the one that pointed, so also from me. And then around like 12, 13, it's time to get a gift. Like a genuine, like something. Put in some effort, right? You can't lean in on dad's gift anymore. And now you're on your own, and this is where I really failed. This is where I fell apart, because I was like, okay, what can I afford? I could probably get her some candy. What does she like? All right, she already has a Bible. This is going to be tough, you know. And gift giving is such a skill. Gift giving is its own gift because it means you were like listening for the right moment. You understand a person so well. Sometimes you get a gift that's so bad that people are like, oh, you don't know me at all. Or you got me this gift because you want to show me how little you care about me. You really want to step out of just saying I hate you with words and do it with surprise. Do it with a little mystery to it. Maybe wrap it up, put a bow on it, box it up. You know? And so, you know, they opened my buddy's gifts to them, his parents. Right? And he got his dad a calendar for the year we were in. Almost all of the calendar had happened. And then he was like, son, there's only a little bit of the year left. You got me a planner for 6 days. And he was like, nah, Dad. All you gotta do is cross out the last number and it'll be a calendar for next year. And he was like, why didn't you buy a calendar for next year? And he was like, they ran out. So I got one for this year. There were plenty of those. And he's like, son, that won't work because the days also change. It won't just work to put, because it'll be a different day of the week when it's that date. Next year is a leap year. Oh, my bad. Okay. I can return it. And then my buddy got his mom a copy of 50 Shades of Grey. And it's like, I was like, do you not know what the book is? In what world? One of the worst gifts I've ever seen somebody give was a cat. This dude got his girlfriend a cat, and it would normally be adorable, right? Except the cat was fully grown and had already decided it hated people. I don't know where he got this cat from, but this cat, first of all, the cat was barely a surprise. They knew it was a cat as soon as he tried to give the cat, because what he did was he tried to put the cat, so you know the crate that you put a cat in? He had the crate, but he had wrapped it, and he had put the little like slits for, you know, the front for air in the thing. But as he's handing her this thing that's way too heavy, he's handing it like this, and inside she can hear, like it's... The cat isn't meowing. The cat is screaming. It's guttural. It's coming from the back of the throat. And then she rips the wrapping paper out of the way. And the cat is like, and then she's like, oh, you got me a kitten, right? As soon as she opens the front, the cat, this cat was amazing, by the way, because it both had agility, but also the most mass I've seen on the cat. This is the fattest cat I've ever seen, but the way that it flew out of the crate past her and was just running in the house, just like, and he's like, oh, you got me a cat, oh my gosh. And then she went to try to pick the cat up, and the cat, okay, for a little while, I didn't believe it was a cat. For a little while, I thought it was either like an actual like bobcat from the wild or a demon, because the way that she went to pick it up and then it stood up and was like, it did, like, it was ready to put his paws on her. Like, this cat, like, it couldn't, I'm not saying it boxed, but I'm just saying, like, the way it would, like, almost stand, it would get really high, and then it would let that first one come up. And this cat hated everyone and everything. And I was like, did you get the cat from, like, a shelter, or where'd you get the cat? And he was like, okay, look. Which is never a good pet origin story. He's like, okay, look, the cat crawled up into the hood of my car. It was cold, it wanted to be warm, and so it crawled up. And then when I was pulling the cat out, it just kept coming out. There was so much cat, because it's the biggest cat any of us have ever seen. I was like, it looked like a lion. Like, you can't just give someone a pet like that. Do you know what I mean? A plant, I feel bad enough letting it die. You can't let an animal die. You can't just be like, oh, well, I didn't even meet this one. It shouldn't even be on me because it was a gift. That sounds so crazy, but it's true. It's like, you've just given this person duties now. And not a lot of duties. The cat was very fat, and it was clearly a street cat, so it knows how to survive. This cat. I don't know if y'all saw, but the Amazon workers went on strike today. Like, a bunch of them went on strike, yeah. Which I think is phenomenal, not just for workers' rights, but because I low-key have not got anybody anything yet. And, like, that's... Ooh-wee. When I was like, hey, yeah, give them whatever they want, all right? They should stay out there till January 2nd or something. Genuinely, I was like, oh, man, okay. And then that means that things won't get delivered on... We serve a mighty God. We serve. You know? But yeah, the Amazon workers are striking. It's one of the biggest strikes against Amazon ever. I think it is the biggest ever against Amazon. It's in different places and everything. And it's coming at a time where Amazon needs them desperately. Rest of the year, you could kind of, shirk them off. But this is Amazon promised us Christmas. I hate to burst your bubble in case you still believe, but there is no Santa. Santa is whoever is driving that Amazon truck. And Amazon made a promise. They made a promise through Prime. They made a promise through pre-orders. And, why their reputation stakes on delivering on that promise. And so if the workers strike and they can't get things to the people, maybe the people are like, wow, I put a lot of stake in you, Amazon. Maybe I'm just going to go to Target next time. But Amazon, they claim not to have it. They claim that they don't have the money. If it's laughable to you, then imagine if you work at Amazon. And you just looking around like, oh, so y'all don't have it. The boss went to space. Tell me what you don't have again. Oh, we don't have it. We're not able. We need too many people working at the same time at a pace that's unrealistic because we tried to replace you with robots, but then, the robots killed themselves. Dude, everybody forgets about that. Everybody forgets that when they've tried AI, they've tried to replace the workers in their faces. And the AI, the robot, whatever it is like, you know what? I think I'm just going to break forever. The robot will do everything except hit itself in the head. That's wild. That's so crazy that you would just tell us you don't even have. That's one of the main things I can't stand about a lot of big companies. And don't get me wrong, right? In the future, you may even see me do like a partnership with a brand that I like. I'm not saying business in and of itself is evil. I'm not saying big business in and of itself has to be evil. I'm just saying the way that some of the most profitable companies in the world have worked is evil, right? And so my thing, especially with Amazon, is that there's always, for you, the customer, there's always surge pricing. There's never, across any company that I know of, outside of overtime, surge pay. That's all you need. If you had just been like, listen, for 3 months, working at Amazon's gonna be the most profitable. It's gonna be the most profitable thing an employee can do. We're gonna pay you 2x, 3x, whatever it takes. Because we also know how much money they made because they tell us. Why would you do that? Why would you go on the news, by the way, to be like Amazon made a record-breaking whatever billion today on Prime Day, and then tell the people that work there, y'all, we ain't got it. The boss needs to go to space again. No, it's insane. Because it wouldn't do, I don't know, it wouldn't do what companies claim it would do, to pay more, if nothing else, during the seasons that you're asking them to work more. And we can't even begin to fathom the conditions all around that are like in an Amazon warehouse. We hear about them from time to time. People get fired or they get hurt or they quit, and then they tell us. And it never gets like fully enveloped all together. One, because there's not enough time. Too many people have been screwed over it's like we all know somebody who dated somebody that was like trash, right? Like they dated a bad person. After like the third testimony of dating this person, you're like, I don't even need to hear anymore. This person is undateable. They shouldn't be out. You know, and that's what it should be like with Amazon, but it's like the stories don't get to enough people, and there are people that are like, oh, I got docked pay for going to the bathroom. What they want me to do, you know? Or I got hurt at the warehouse because everybody's trying to meet these like specific time-stamped goals, and if they don't meet them, they might get fired, and this is the job that they have. This is how they're going to pay their rent for the time being to make ends meet. So they're pushing the cart extra fast, not looking where they're going. They run over somebody's foot. They drop a box on somebody's head, and then there's a whole system in place. Instead of making a system to make it safer, instead of making a system to pay people more, or instead of making a system that just functions better, there's a whole system in place for when things go wrong. So that way, they don't have to pay people out, or they don't have to. You would rather hire a lawyer to come up with the type of NDA that when someone dies at work, their family can't sue, than to just do things the right way, you know? Because we've decided that it's like more profitable to be a bastard. I mean, but like, I guess my thing is this: at a certain point, the fact that no money is enough, right? The fact that there's no number, you can't get higher than space. Do you know what I mean? The man has been to space. There's nowhere else to go because he's not going to heaven. There's no more. You have enough money. I'm not even saying that as someone, look, I'll be honest with you. I'll be very honest with you right now. I would like to, in my lifetime, make a lot of money. I have no gripe with people who have a lot of money. It's only the way in which they make that money. That's all that ever bothers me when it does bother me. I usually don't care how much money anybody has. We're all on a different path. Some people are born with money. You can't help that. Some people make a lot of money through everyone wanting to buy their product. You can't help that. I'm not jealous of anybody. I want everybody to do well. It's just, I look at the state of things, right? And there's no perfect system. I'm not saying I have the whole answer. The answer is you're going to have to make less money. But I don't have an answer that they would like or implement, you know? I guess my thing is this: if we want to help the workers as much as possible, bodies get put on the line when they try to meet these goals, right? It's one of the things that they're protesting, one of the things that they're striking against is that they have to put their bodies on the line to get things to us, the consumer, right? When we order. Because for us, it's just a click. For them, it's their body, it's their livelihood, it's their life sometimes. And I think the only way to fix this, at least temporarily, is to bring back like 2013 Black Friday. I think rather than putting it all on them, we got to get out in the streets and we got to start beating the ever-living shit out of each other for the products that we want, that are supposedly on sale, right? Black Friday is a shell of itself, and it is unacceptable. Most of it happens online, which is disgusting, right? We need to get these prices down, and actually down. I don't mean the thing that like Walmart does sometimes where it's the same price and they put it back the next day and they made you think it was lower because of the day. I'm talking about actually marketably lower, right? And then we have to start training in August. Okay? We need to start practicing, maybe even with family. Bring the family. Let the family come early, all right? Throw some bows, right? Make sure that like grandma's shuffle is good when she's trying to get through people. Make sure that the youngest brother can really handle that offensive line that you're going to need to create to get to the register, all right? Make sure his tackle is good. And we need to get back in stores the way that it used to be. One of the problems is Amazon's too powerful. They wouldn't be too powerful if we started shopping again at the stores that we shopped at before Amazon, right? One of the other things is that, That dopamine hit that you get when you buy the thing and then the thing comes the next day, I'm not saying you don't deserve your dopamine hits. I'm just saying it's a much stronger dopamine hit to knock the hell out of somebody for the TV that you want. This is America. You gotta earn your dopamine. Okay? The amount of strangers that we used to have, America used to come together to be divided for one day. Used to wrap that wrist around the throat of a neighbor. And you used to sink that choke in tight. A choke that would make John Jones proud. A choke that would mean that your family got to play the board game Sorry that night. Because you went in and you choked until you saw a little bit of blue. Just a touch. Just so you knew they wouldn't fight anymore, and then you let them go, and you didn't drop them. You're not a monster. You placed them down gently. It was the next person running up that stepped on their chest. It is the American way to build community through violence. Okay? We used to do it. We used to get in there. We used to make it messy. You know? You would have like, you'd have a couple scrapes you didn't know where they came from. You know what I mean? You'd have a whole cut on your arm and you'd be like, makes sense, but I don't know when it happened. But I don't know. I'm bad at giving gifts, but I hope that everyone striking for Amazon gets what they want for Christmas. Genuinely, I do. Like. I can tell I'm bad at giving gifts because all I can offer is jokes. I read this week that Harvey Weinstein got rushed to the hospital from prison after a heart episode, maybe a heart attack or something like that. And as soon as I read it, I was like, rushed? Do they not know? Oh, you can take your time with Harvey. You don't gotta run any red lights for Harvey. You don't need to put the siren on, just making turns like you. That's gotta be tough. You driving Harvey Weinstein's ambulance. You hitting yellow lights, making decisions. Turns a little bit yellow, we wouldn't have made it. I'm sure even the guard at the prison, Harvey over here, the guard's like, oh no. Don't. That's a tough one too, because like I was thinking about it, because I was thinking about it from as many angles as possible, because it's not just he's the person that's part of the headline, but there are lots of people around him in this situation. You got to think about the people at the hospital. You know, you go to the ER, got a real bad headache, and then they run in with Harvey Weinstein. having a heart attack, and you're like, but y'all still gonna get me first, right? Like this hurts really bad. Can we? Or maybe you're not a patient. Maybe you're a surgeon. Imagine, because we don't know what happened exactly. Just know that he has some sort of thing happen. What if that dude had to have like open heart surgery, you know? And I don't think he did. I think we would have heard about it. But let's say he had to have open heart surgery. Let's say you're a surgeon. You work at the hospital. You went to school. You studied hard. You learned everything that there was to learn about healing someone, especially someone in dire straits, someone who's really, really down to the wire, right? And you go to school, med school, maybe do some sort of residency. I don't know how it works, but you get hired by a hospital and you come into work on a random Tuesday. Checking in to work and everything, about to sit at your desk, and somebody runs in, hey, you gotta come, quick, quick, quick. And then they pull you into an OR, and it's Harvey Weinstein on the table. And you're like, uh-oh. Like, hurry, you gotta save him. And you're like, gotta? Like, do I really? It's like, yeah, you took a Hippocratic oath to, like, I was like, yeah, but when they made us, take the oath, they didn't mention anything like this. Like, I was saying it in theory. Somebody might have had to do open heart surgery on Harvey Weinstein. Someone might have had to put their hands in Harvey Weinstein. The whole time they're just like, ew, 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 ew. You know, it's insane. It's like I couldn't get it off my mind too, because it's like everybody involved, you know? They have to do their job, and their job is to heal. But you got to heal a bad person. This dude is the devil. And you know how we know he's like truly, truly evil? Not all the testimony, not all of the stories about things that he's done for decades over his career. We know that everybody knows because they made him. During the trial was when I was like, man, this guy, oof. This is worse than we could ever imagine, because during the trial, they got him to do the thing that they get dudes to do when they're definitely guilty. When people are guilty and the jury knows it, the judge knows it, and their own lawyers know it, they all do the same thing. You can look at any case in America. They always, always tell this dude, hey, listen, you're going to need to act as feeble as possible. Okay, from now on, you use a walker. Do you understand me? We had never seen Harvey with a walker before. You know that man didn't need a walker, but as soon as he was in hot water, he over here can't close his mouth. Get out of here. No. They did the same thing with Cosby. You knew Cosby was guilty because they told that man to act extra blind. Had been losing his sight incrementally over decades, but when it came to the trial, they put glasses on that man and he started acting, you know, he was not that blind. It's one thing to not be able to see. This man was over here putting it on, just Ray Charles and it. So you can't feel the sounds. Don't do that. Because Harvey showed up in that walker, and I was like, yeah. He did everything. Over here. No. Get out of here, man. That's so insane. But I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I really do hope that he's not okay. I can't judge anybody for not being great at their job because I've been bad at work before. I've had jobs where I look back and I'm like, they should have fired me. You know what I mean? Like I have a good attitude at work, so people, you know, they're like, oh, he's pleasant, so they let me keep coming in. But there were times, okay. I worked for a very, very short period of time at this like storage unit place. They only gave me a couple hours because I was terrible, right? But I would be late, and I would be so late that you know that level of late where you know you need an excuse? And it has to be good. It has to be great. Like you're so late that now, first 10 minutes of late, you can blame traffic, right? Next 10 minutes of late, now you gotta blame kids, a sick pet. You know what I mean? Something. After 30, someone has to be dead. After 30, you have to be brave for showing up. You know what I mean? You have to win them over again and be like, hey, look, you know, my whole family. But I care so much about this job that I was like, let me go ahead and do those 7.5 hours because I wanted to make sure I helped out the company. You know what I mean? And the problem with death is that you can really only use it once a year. Because if everybody die every time you late, you look like bad luck. You know what I mean? Like you look like you're really going through it, right? Because after 30, that's when you have to decide, did somebody die or am I too sick to come in? Because your boss, your manager is already going to be mad because this is a call you should have made 30 minutes before you were late, if not sooner than that. But now that you're this late, now you have to call and basically try to pretend to throw up on the phone, right? At 30 minutes late, you got to call and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I know I'm already late and I love my job so much. I love my job like you wouldn't believe, you know what I mean? Like I had a dream last night I was on time. I had a dream that I was on time working because you know how I love to work there, right? Like, you know, and I was doing my job. I was moving the boxes and everything, and it felt good to be there with y'all, my coworkers, and my boss, who I'm calling right now, who I know is too good of a person to hold this against me. You know I love it here. Now, there was one time I was so late. I was so late that I called my job and pretended to be my old brother. It was like, oh, Josh wanted me to call you, and I forgot. He actually told me to call you 2.5 hours ago, the exact amount of time that the manual says that he has to let you know that he can't come in by if he doesn't want to get written up. I meant to call at that time for him, but I forgot. That's my bad. His brother, not him, right? And I just basically called to tell you, he died. I used to struggle, but now I think I've accepted like how out of control I am of how I'm perceived as a person, right? Like I don't really get to decide. You can try to like maintain an image, and you can try to like curate a way that people might see you, but you can't actually control it, right? And one like optic I've never been able to fully control is like giving off like hardcore man. You know what I mean? Like just like, oh, that's a man right there, right? Because a lot of like masculinity, a lot of just general male identity is all the way down to optics. You know? It used to be a bunch of things. that made you a man, you know? And some of those things were literally just judged by things that women couldn't do. So if you go back to like the 60s and like women couldn't have a credit card or something and you had a credit card, you're like, I'm a man, charge it. But as women made more strides and the need for a man became less in like women's lives, the whole of what it meant to seem like or be a man started to narrow, and it's narrowed down now to the point of like aesthetics, like just general optics, right? And I know I don't give those off. And not in a self-deprecating way, just in like a true, if I'm being myself, they don't come across. Like I was on a date and I could tell I didn't come off as like that man for her because I blew on my hot food too many times. From the time you're a child, your parents tell you to blow on that food because it's hot. You don't want to burn your mouth, right? And I decided a long time ago that I was as close to done as possible to doing like dumb stuff just to look like a man. I was either gonna like be a man in that moment or I wasn't. I was just gonna be honest with myself. I wasn't gonna take a hot bite and then juggle it in the back of my throat. Take a piping hot bite of lasagna, then that's not me. I'm gonna be real with myself. And so I went ahead and I took my fork, and everyone on planet Earth gets one blow. That's you even checking the temperature. Sometimes you bring food to your lip and it's so hot, it's not even touching your lip yet, but you're like, ooh, food. But I took too long. I also took too long between blows. I took my fork of food, I was like, it doesn't hit right, you know what I mean? There's not just one thing. There's lots of things that I do. Like I also, it doesn't seem very manly, but I use a lot of napkins. And I don't mean like I have a handkerchief that I keep in a suit that's like somebody crying, I can be like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about how I have Wendy's napkins in my back pocket. I was on a date, same date as the last thing. This happened right after, where, you know, because I blow my food so hard sometimes, depending on the food, and if it's saucy, it'll splash, right? And so, it's one thing if you have a little something here or, you know, here, but if you blow the food so hard that it splashes up a little bit and you got a little food on your nose or your cheek and you start to look like a toddler, that's also unacceptable. Hence, I keep the napkins on me because I blow my food. I'm not giving it up, right? But she was like, oh, you have a little something right here. And so then I grabbed a napkin and I was like, that wasn't the manliest way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I should have grabbed the napkin and smeared it. You know what I mean? Just like, did I get it? I don't care. You know what I mean? That would have been more manly. Because it is just, you know, it's a part of self-acceptance. Just know There's certain things that you do. I'm not saying you can't change them, but like, I'm not gonna be myself and then wonder why people don't think I'm someone else. Do you know what I mean? So if you get a good sense of yourself, you understand why you come off the way that you come off, right? Like, I think there's 2 times where you cannot help, no matter what you try to project, you cannot help but be yourself. The 2 times are when you laugh and when you are scared, right? Because when you laugh, sometimes you don't even want to laugh. You know? Like you, sir. No, I'm just... Sometimes when you laugh, you don't even want to laugh, but it just escapes you because it's so funny. Like when a kid falls. It's not always funny, but sometimes it's very funny. They fall so stupid. Like, it's like, why is his leg up there like that? Like, do they have bones? Like, what's happening? And so you laugh, and then sometimes the laugh escapes, and you can't even control the way that it comes out. It's funny, you know? Same way with fear. You know, sometimes you get scared. You don't mean to get scared. We would all like to not be scared, right? But sometimes you're fearful, and when the fear escapes you, your reaction, that is who you are. You know? I'll give you an example. I was at my buddy's house one time, and my buddy doesn't have a good house. No, I told him this to his face before. I'm like, you're in a bad situation. You need to improve your life and yourself, all right? Because he is in a bachelor pad with 3 other dudes, and they keep it, whatever you imagining, that's what it looked like, right? So it's not good. There's whole rags on the floor nobody will claim. I'm like, y'all can't live like this. And so he was having an argument with his roommate, and they were really having it out, which was awkward because I was over there to watch a movie that was now paused. So this doesn't have anything to do with me, but I was just over here. We had already started. We're 30 minutes in. I don't want to go home and then try to find my spot and everything. Let's just watch the movie. But then they over there jawing at each other, and it's getting more and more intense, and it's awkward too because my buddy's sitting here and the roommate is standing up. When I say we're sitting here, we sitting on the floor because he doesn't have furniture. It's not a good house, and so we're sitting on the floor, and so then I'm getting yelled over because he's yelling at him, but then he's standing over us, and so I feel like I'm in trouble too, and I'm like, I just want to watch the movie. Then finally his friend lays down the hammer. I don't remember what he said, but he said those like last words that you say in a fight, and he stormed off and he went to slam the door behind him, right? But because they don't have a good house, right? He went to slam the door, and the door fell off. Even badly built homes have good hinges. There's no reason for the whole door to fall off. And so this is what happened. I knew he was going to slam the door because I was looking at him when he was walking away, because I was like, okay, I can unpause it, right? So when he slammed the door, that was a loud noise that I saw coming, right? Boom. That's fine. Doesn't scare me. But I had turned my head and I had hit play, and the door, the way the hinges decided to give out was incrementally, right? And so the door didn't just fall right off. It just sort of slowly started to fall hinge by hinge until it slammed down, right? But this is a loud noise that I wasn't expecting. So then the door fell, and it made that whip sound, you know, like when you just drop a book on its face, and I'm not proud of it. But when I get scared enough, I grab my chest with an open hand. And this is hard to come back from. This right here, people don't play games with this. This is bona fide bitch right here.
If you do this and you don't want people to see it, you gotta go kill everybody who saw it. Because people will tell people that you did that. This is not the hand gesture of someone who's like, man, I'll kick your ass. That's never said doing this. This is the look of someone that goes to Trader Joe's and says, what do you mean you're out of peach jam? This is a never in my days gesture. This is a my word, my Lord gesture. This ain't what you do when the ops start shooting. This is... I'm over here grabbing a robe I'm not wearing, right?
Mira.